Hey everybody, welcome to episode 40 of Canadian Herpetoculture Podcast.
Woohoo!
How are you doing, Kiana?
I am currently dying on a heat pad.
That does not sound fantastic.
No, it is not.
Are you turning reptilian on us because you need a heat pad, or?
No, I am having an endometriosis flare-up, and my doctor said I should go to the hospital, but instead I'm recording a podcast because I refuse to go to the fucking hospital.
Yeah, if it gets worse, you should definitely get that checked out, though.
Thanks. I kind of have to get through to my spot on the waiting list for the specialist that I'm waiting for. So if you have any suggestions,
not really.
I need my uterus removed. So, yeah, unfortunately, I have to wait for that.
Yeah, that can unfortunately take some time, especially during the pandemic. So.
That's why it's taking so long. But yeah,
well, I don't know.
I feel like a bag of smashed assholes, so you guys don't get to see my face because I am laying in bed. I'm laying in bed.
Is that smashed assholes or smashed uterus?
Smashed uterus. Actually, it feels like someone took a sledgehammer to my lower back and hips. It feels like labor pain without the flesh ripping is actually what it feels like. And I think if you're in so much pain that you can compare it to labor, it probably really fucking hurts.
Well, yeah. That does not sound like a good time at all. Then, yeah. I don't envy that at all.
Fuck you, uteruses.
So anything new besides that?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I guess we should.
Which is weird.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Anything new with you?
I'm stuck in quarantine. So, yeah.
Oh, did your test come back positive?
No, my test came back negative, but since my wife tested positive, I still have to quarantine because I came into contact with a positive case.
That sucks.
Yeah, so I am currently, later this week, I'll get another test to see if I'm still negative or not. So, and then go from there.
So you're locked down to your house, and I'm confined to my bed because moving anywhere else makes me want to die.
Yeah, I'm stuck sleeping on the couch because the wife's confined to the bedroom.
Does the baby have it?
Pardon?
Does the baby have it?
Yes.
Corona, I will fucking fight you.
Yeah, so the little guy, well, because she came into contact with it, and then she's always around him, so he's bound to get it, so unfortunately. But so far, the symptoms are very mild. My old lady's just got a cough, and she's tired, and the little guy seems pretty normal, so, which is good. So hopefully the symptoms don't get any worse. She's going to be approaching her 14-day period later this week, I believe. So hopefully everything's still good. But the little guy has to quarantine for like a month.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, so after her quarantine period, he's still got to quarantine for another 14 days.
Aww.
Yep. Yeah.
I go get my 5G upgrade on the 28th.
Hopefully you get better service.
Hopefully.
and they'll be able to track you better with all that movement that you're not doing.
Yeah, the government can track me laying on this fucking heat pad.
Yeah. Well, that brings us to our next thing. Check out our sponsor, Miko Reptiles and Enclosures. for all your enclosure needs. They flat pack ship across Canada, and I'm not sure if they're shipping to the States, but I think they have been a couple times here and there.
Yeah, they have shipped to the States before.
That's awesome. Expanding. They will build to suit your needs, not just offer you a blank slate and that's about it. What they offer is what they offer. So building to suit your needs and your animals' needs is more ideal, and looking forward into the future of better animal care, in my opinion.
Yep. That is probably my favorite thing about working with these guys, because I could say, hey, can you do this and this and this because of this and this and this? And Cody goes, oh yeah, that makes sense. Here you go. And it's literally that easy.
And they got a fast turnaround time too, so that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And then also check out Pet Paradise. So the website's mypetparadise.ca for all your animal needs. That includes dogs, cats, fishes, reptiles, and whatever else. You can order it all together and use the promo code in all capital letters CHP 10 off to save 10%.
And they also have plants too, and that code works on the plants.
Yeah, they got tons of crazy plants. So for all you plant fanatics.
And then
So they basically got everything.
Yeah, they do. We also have a new affiliate in the works, but you're all gonna have to wait to the next episode to find out.
Ooh, what could it be? If
It's handy,
yeah.
but it's a secret, so that's all I'm saying. Are you even a reptile keeper if you don't have flies? That's my only hint.
Well, we should introduce our guest for today.
Okay.
So you lined this one up, so you can introduce her.
Okay, you gotta push the button though.
All right.
Please welcome Jordan from Havoc Exotics.
Hey.
Hey, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
So, what got you into reptiles?
I don't know. I guess as a kid, I was always begging my grandparents to go take me snake hunting, like going to catch garter snakes.
This isn't Texas, so
No.
most of us know
Yeah.
what snake hunting is.
Absolutely. I figured I'd clarify, though, just, I don't think we ever found any, though. We don't have many snakes out east. I think we have, literally 4 species. Yeah, from there, I begged my parents to let me have a snake, and they said no. And so I got a leopard gecko. And then in my, first apartment, it occurred to me that I could just go get a snake. And so I did. I stayed up all night researching. I got up at, 8 in the morning. I didn't sleep except for 3 hours, because that's how I do things. I obsessively research. And then the pet store up the road from me happened to have one hognose, just one, and I bought it and then got many more.
A Western hognose?
Yep.
Or as they are now,
Plains hognose.
Plains.
Yeah. It's a thing I need to get used to, but
yeah, that's what everybody is. Can I get a Western? It's Plains. Well, it's whatever at this point. Everybody knows what it is. So
exactly.
Did they get renamed recently?
Yeah,
Yes.
they did.
Yeah, they got did the taxonomy change, or was it just the common name?
Just common name. As far as I know, they're still Heterodon nasicus. If I'm pronouncing that right, I'm not sure, but
I think so. I deal with hognoses, but not those ones. Stuff.
Leoheterodon, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are cool too.
Yeah, that's because we can't have Westerns here in Alberta because they're a native species. So.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but understandable for sure.
I don't know if it's unfortunate because when I did have them when I lived in Saskatchewan, they were not very bright snakes.
They're so dumb. I love them so much. They're special. Yeah. I've got one male who I need to watch my fingers, my tongs. He will grab the side of his bin and chew it until his mouth bleeds. So
Perfect. At least you know he's gonna eat.
Yeah, he does eat quite well at least. So, but yeah, no, they're special. I really don't understand how they live in the wild, like at all. I think they accidentally survive.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but I had
Maybe
the
that's. I was gonna say maybe that's why we have such a small population here in Alberta.
probably they're not smart enough
They
to.
only accidentally survive.
I swear, like they stumble on like maybe like a nest of pinkies or something, or like frogs, and they're like, yeah, okay, cool, food. But I was in Colorado, and a friend and I went out herping, and we found a big female, a wild one. That was really cool. Catch and release, obviously. As much as I would have liked to put her in my bags and come back.
Yeah, I haven't seen westerns here in Alberta, but I hear they're pretty reclusive to find. So
Yeah.
One day,
One
hopefully.
day. Yeah, definitely.
Maybe that's why they survive, because they just can't be seen.
Yeah, nothing could find them to eat them.
So, what else did you start getting after you got your first hognose?
Ball pythons. A lot of ball pythons. I guess I really liked how varied their morphs are. And they were, hognose, especially when I got into them, it was 2013. So they were a lot harder to find. They're still pretty hard to find. So ball pythons, I just acquired a bunch of ball pythons to kind of make up for not being able to acquire a bunch of hognose. And then from there, I got like a few different clearbird species. I have some kings and some corns. I had a Taiwan rat for a bit. Some boas. I have some tree boas. Just a variety. Like variety.
Variety's not for everybody, but
Yeah.
variety's also kind of nice. It depends on the variety, because if it can make your care routine a lot more difficult, because if everything's not kind of very similar in care style.
Absolutely.
That's kind of why I keep the stuff that I have, because it's all very similar in care, so I can keep my room at the temperature that it is, which does not stay very consistent. It's just how I keep. And yes, it's just easier for my maintenance.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. Most of what I have is about the same temperature range. Some things need a bit more misting than, some of the others, but yeah.
I keep seeing posts for Amazon tree boas, and
Yeah.
I'm like super close to getting them, but there's also those neotropical bird snakes that I want to import from the States. So I'm just like,
Both? Yeah, I've got 2 Amazon tree boas right now. I've got a big yellow male. I'm not really sure where he came from originally, but I got him from a pet store in Ontario. And he's huge. And then I have a little female that I got off of Darren Hamill, I think 2 years ago now, but she's really pretty. She's like bright orange, so she's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he produces some pretty cool tree boas.
Yeah, he has really nice stock. I basically stalked his page for like 6 months and like messaged and was like, do you have any? And then he let me, I think I had an email or something notification that they were going up. And I was debating between 2, and I missed out on the first one, my first choice, by like 2 hours, but I managed to grab one. So.
Yeah, he's definitely got some nice boas and everything else that he's got there.
A lot of really nice stuff.
I try to avoid looking at other people's pages,
Yes,
so.
absolutely wise.
Well, I'm just trying to focus on what I have now, and then upgrading closures and stuff instead of adding more to it. But that's also a blatant lie, because I've just recently bought another Madagascar giant hognose.
Nice. That's fantastic.
And I bought some speckled hatchlings not too long ago either.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah,
But
that's
that's adding to my collection for future breeding plans and just me overall enjoying the animal.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I could not pass up this opportunity to buy this male, because he is totally different from any other giant that I've ever seen. So
that's awesome. Do you have
quite the
pictures?
color
I'll have to
contrast.
creep. If you have any pictures up, I'll have to go stalk your
But I've been kind of
social stuff.
hiding them for now.
Fair. That's fair. Understandable. Yeah, I've got the 2 blonde hognose still, and the male's a bit darker, but he's great.
Yeah, my male's darker too. My
Yeah.
female's a little bit lighter, but she's also a ballistic missile and absolutely hates me.
Oh yeah, Yeah, mine are really they're pretty chill. The female will try to like get out of the enclosure as soon as I open it, but
My female will. My wife, I was out of town working, and she went to go video chat with me, and she opened the drawer and she just darted out. And she's like, "I gotta go find a snake now." Bye.
Yep, that happened to me. I like caught her with like one hand, and it's fun.
So I've learned that the hard way, and she likes to bite me.
Yeah, I saw that clip a few times. Every single time it's reposted. It's great.
Yeah, that was a fun time. My arm was pretty sore for a while. My fingers went numb, and quite a bit of swelling in that spot. So
that's cool. I've been avoiding getting bit by them so far. Mine don't try to bite at all. So,
this female was pretty fresh import at the time. So.
Yeah, fair.
So so she's still pretty new to everything. So I just try to leave her alone because she's just nuts. Yeah,
that's basically I'll do welfare checks, water them, feed them, leave them alone, basically. So
yeah, they're kind of more of a leave me alone species.
Absolutely, and I don't see the point in handling and stressing them out for my own benefit. So
yeah, that's kind of what I try to avoid, is handling them out and just leaving them be. Because me checking in on them all the time is just going to stress them out even more. It's unnecessary.
Yep.
Some species handle it better, but this species does not.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed too. Yeah, but no, mine are doing great. The male switched to frozen thawed rodents really well. The female is still being fussy, but she's eaten. So,
have you tried getting like a bunch of pinkies and some hoppers and stuff and putting them all on like a plate? So
no, not yet.
I'll
try that next.
Yeah, go off the feed.
Nice. I'll give that a shot.
Yeah, because apparently I haven't seen any actual research on it, but they do go raid dens every once in a while, so they'll just eat everything that's there.
Nice. That makes sense. I'll definitely give that a shot. Do you normally do live if you do that, or is it just frozen thawed? Perfect.
Frozen thawed on a plate.
Perfect.
And gorge on whatever they want.
Perfect. Excellent. I can definitely do that. Yeah, no, I've tried a few things. I had frog legs, but they weren't interested. So
yeah, the blondes never took frogs or anything else for me, but my speckleds, there's a research paper that I found that they do eat rainbow frogs in the wild.
Nice. That's cool.
There really wasn't much information on that besides they found a little bit in the stomach, and that was about it. And then they're like, so we don't know anything else about their diet.
Perfect.
Like, oh, fantastic.
Yep. Yeah. Gotta love that. When you're trying to research it, and it's like, well, someone was bit by one once, and here's some dead ones, and that's about it. So
yeah. Like I got like 10 research papers from Dr. Glaw. He did some papers on a bunch of the Leoheterodon and some Madagascar tree snakes. So I got a bunch of stuff on that, and he sent me one of the bite papers.
Cool.
But the guy who got bit did get bit by other venomous snakes when he was in Africa, so they weren't entirely sure if it was a reaction to that exact snake bite or if it was something that was residual from other bites.
Gotcha. Yeah,
there was no real conclusive information.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I know I've been bit by the westerns, I think 3 or 4 times now, and each they're really mild bites, so I get the snake off immediately. They're little nose scale is really great for just popping them off your skin, but there was swelling the first time, just a little bit. Second time a bit more. Third time my hand swelled quite a bit, but just got to be careful. It's always me not being careful when I'm feeding and I get bit instead. So
yeah, my giant hognose hatchlings are the worst. They bite everything.
Amazing,
except for food.
Of course, that's how it goes usually. Yeah.
So just bite everything that's not food.
Yeah. They're fun.
I never reacted to their bites. Like a little tiny bit of redness and stuff in the areas, but nothing major. So
that's good. It's always interesting. Always interesting. I'm always like, I wonder how I'll react this time.
Doing my own science experiment.
Pretty much. My boyfriend's always like, oh God. And he's like, what about the hospital? I'm like, no, why would I go to the hosptal for this? It's fine.
Yeah, there's not much that they can do.
Exactly. Panic. Yeah.
So what brings you in today? I got bit by an exotic animal.
I'm like, oh, cool, great, excellent. Yeah. Yep. I've already been because of dog bites, so they'd be like, what are you doing?
Playing with my zoo.
Yeah. Sometimes the zoo bites back. It's fine.
Yeah. So tell us more about your collection.
So
You-
mostly hogs and ball. Oh, can I?
Ball pythons, Kiana and I's favorite subject.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I know, but they're so. I love them. I love the colors
Hey,
and stuff.
they're not for everybody, but
No.
there's a large audience that really enjoys them. So,
Absolutely.
and I'm not that audience, but
That's
I
fair.
still appreciate the work that people put into them to get
Yeah.
them to where they are, and the appreciation for them.
Yeah.
So,
I like. Yeah, I breed mostly just balls and hogs. Hognose being my primary focus. Unfortunately, Nova Scotia hogs aren't legal, and that's where we have 2 expos out this way. There's one in PI and one in Nova Scotia. So I can't bring my hogs into Nova Scotia like at all. So I like having the
you can
balls
have
for
a good
variety.
moon bike in there.
Yeah, no, that's Newfoundland.
Oh, is that different? Okay.
Yeah. Nah, Nova Scotia, it's a blanket ban on venomous, and they
Ah.
consider hogs venomous. So, ooh, sorry, dog bumped in. But yeah, so the balls are nice to have, and I don't know, I find hogs can be a bit fussier and trickier, and a lot of people just want like a really docile pet rock, as I call them, a really pretty pet rock. And then I keep a couple geckos. Morning geckos. I just have the one right now who turned out to be a male, which is really unusual for that species. But yeah, and then I have some sand boas. Those are a newish addition.
What kind of sand boas?
Kenyan, as far as I know. I think one's a cross, a Ruffin's cross or something. I got it from Tyrone. It's like a stripy one. It's really cool. But yeah, Kenyan sand boas. I have some. I'm trying to think what else. I have 2 Candoya bibroni, which are really cool tree boas.
Yeah, those are really cool.
Yeah, I love them. They're so cool.
They're hard to establish. Most of them are wild caught, I believe.
Yes. So I purchased a group of 10, and it was shipped to me, and there were shipping issues. So unfortunately, coming from west out to me, shipping's 2 days. And for whatever reason, the box got stuck in Quebec and stayed an extra day. So by the time they got to me, they were not moving. And after half an hour of warming them up at 80 degrees, like just room temperature, they were temp gunning at 56 degrees on the snakes themselves.
But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So I thought they were all dead. Some of them came back. Most of them ended up passing anyways. So I ended up with two living ones. But the ones that survived the shipping mishap, they are doing great. They're tongue feeding rodents, just like that. So, it's a frustrating experience. I had been looking forward to that species for a long time. Finally found a group, and then shipping. So it was unfortunate, but
that is unfortunate.
Yeah,
but sometimes we can't control everything, unfortunately, as much as we want to.
Yep, absolutely. So. I'm glad the ones that are surviving are doing well. So that's a relief, It's just nice that, that some of them made it. But yeah, I remember I have quail as well. And so I was offering them quail chicks. I had some that didn't hatch out.
Did they take well to those? Or?
Yeah, they did actually. One of them did, and then the other had no interest. And then I was just feeding other animals, and I, offered a frozen thawed mouse on tongs to the one that hadn't eaten. And he just took it. Just immediately off the tongs. I was really surprised, but it was great. And he's been consistently eating for me since. So
that's pretty really good.
Yeah.
Are you planning to breed those later on down the road, or?
That was the plan. I have 2 males, so not with these ones. But I'm hoping to get more eventually. And I will not be shipping in winter because I'm now very scared to, because 2-day shipping, they would have been fine. I've received winter shipments before, and it goes right to the hub. I pick them up and. Oh, sorry, you can cut out there.
I think we just froze.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. Cool. Was that during the FedEx busy time?
Yes. Unfortunately, it was. And I had been unaware of that. So it was a hard lesson. But
yeah, it's kind of all of a sudden shipments start slowing down and everybody's like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to remember. I feel like it was after Christmas. Like we had tried to avoid, definitely wouldn't ship during Christmas, and it was a semi-warm period. And then, yeah, I'm really not sure what ended up happening. I don't know if they got misplaced or left out, but yeah, he just pulled a can out of I don't know where.
Yeah, we don't really know what goes on at the sorting facilities and that kind of stuff.
So. Exactly, but
that's kind of a good reason to avoid the busy season.
Absolutely,
which is Christmas.
Yeah, but I think it was just maybe just with COVID and everything. I'm not sure. There was like a period where like it should have been fine, and for whatever reason it wasn't. But yeah, I'll just be extra careful next time, especially with the 2-day shipping. But
unfortunately, it's something that we can't control.
Absolutely. So, yep.
Can't control when everybody else decides to ship all their packages up.
Exactly.
The animals for
Are you
Christmas.
there? you're a little quiet.
Hello.
Hey, Kiana. Hello.
Better.
You're making noises.
Yeah, there's noises.
Anymore?
Do you have technical difficulties again? No, it does not sound any better. So, how do you keep your collection? Do you do mostly enclosures, or do you do racks, or do you do a mix of both? Or
I do a mix of both right now. So upstairs, I have PVC enclosures. I have like I think it's like a 6-stack of them. Someone local built a really awesome cabinet to hold them, basically. And when they sold that, I snagged it. I can hear myself. But I do have racks for a lot of the hatchlings and babies. I just find them start a lot better that way. So.
Yeah, I keep a lot of my hatchlings in bigger tubs than some of those type bins.
Yeah, same. Those seem a little crowded for me.
Yeah, I use 16-quart tubs for my hatchlings, but also my Madagascar giants. They come out a little bit bigger. They're 12 inches long, and they're pretty girthy for how small they are. So I personally like to give them more space. I keeping them in the 16 quarts, I almost feel bad because like they use all of that space.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice like to give them like more space, like if they're going to use it and everything.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
So I might eventually get a bigger hatchling rack.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the goal. I'm hoping that when we're planning on moving out of this house in the next couple of years, and I want to have a nice big dedicated reptile room with hopefully mostly enclosures. I think I really like the big PVC enclosures. So
yeah, ideally I'd like to have more PVCs. So over the next couple of years, probably I'll be upgrading my giants to 6 foots, like I've mentioned before, and then excuse me, and then all of my speckleds and blondes, they'll go into the 4 foots behind me.
Perfect.
So
yeah.
3-foot snakes and 4-foot enclosures.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
So I think that'll be more ideal. Just I feel like the giants need more space, so I might do a 6 foot by 3 foot by 2 foot talls.
Nice. Yeah, that'll be good.
They can have more space to roam because they definitely utilize every bit of that enclosure when I'm not looking.
Yeah, absolutely. I had my blondes in, it's like a 55-inch, I think. It's like a big glass terrarium. But it's almost as tall as I am when it's on its end. And they loved it. They used all of this space, and I want to get them back in there, give them lots of trees to climb on because they seem to use them quite well. So
yeah, I think like they're terrestrial, but like I think that's kind of a weird term because there's a lot of bushes and stuff that animals are going to climb on because they got to get to different spaces, and I think most even terrestrial snakes are going to use a little bit of height to get a better view downwards of their prey.
Absolutely makes sense. Yeah.
That's just my theory behind it.
Yep. Absolutely.
It would work for most species, like if they're not den raiders or something like that too. 'Cause den raiders, they don't. Well, I guess they would still get that advantage from coming above because they're coming from the hole downward. So.
Yeah. True. Absolutely. Yeah. I find like the Western hogs, they'll try to climb, but they tend to just like fall. It's pretty funny to watch. They'll like climb corners and they'll go all the way up, so it's just like a little teeny bit of their tail they're balancing on, and then they just like fall like a tree.
Yeah, they're not very graceful.
They are not. It is fantastic. They're
yeah. With my giants, I go on iNaturalist and some other reptile apps and just see where they're being found on the island and the kind of habitat. So
absolutely.
I've seen some where they were like 16 feet down in like a gold.
Oh wow.
So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is. Absolutely. So
yeah,
cool.
And then the speckleds there have been found in southwest Madagascar where it's pretty arid and like deserty almost. So
nice. That's really cool.
Pretty dry. And then the blondes, they're kind of found in some areas where the giants are found. So it's a very similar environment.
Nice. That's awesome.
Lots of low-lying brush and big tree trunks and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I make sure to give mine lots of leaf litter, and they seem to appreciate
mine always
that.
Hide in the leaf litter, and then when I can't see them, they just dart out at me and try to escape.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when I had mine in the really big enclosure, I would never see them, but I'd hear like the leaves crinkling as they, cruised around.
Yeah, I got a bunch of leaves in my rack here with my speckleds and my blondes, and that's all I hear all day long is just leaves crinkling.
Crinkle, yeah. Yeah, it's great. I love it.
Yeah. So what are some of your goals with your collection?
Mostly just there's a few things, like a few animals that I would like to produce for myself. Like there's some really nice recessive morphs of Hognose that are really expensive that I can't quite justify paying right now. And
what's some of the most expensive morphs that you're looking at?
I got some het sables, which was a goal of mine. I think the visual sables are still like $2,000 or $3,000 US. It's not like, crazy high dollars like some of the ball python morphs and stuff, but it's a hobby, and spending a couple paychecks on a snake isn't ideal. But there's some others. The clutch that just hatched out, it was het coral to het coral pair, so it's lavender and albino recessives. And I was unlucky. Well, the odds of getting a double visual was like 6% or something. So but maybe next year. But they're pretty cool. They're like a pink snake, and they I think are going like for $2,500 US. So
I remember when I was looking at Western Hognose morphs, and there was some that were like $8,000 in the US. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. I think leucistics are still pretty high up there. It's been a while, but I feel like the last time I looked, they were like 10,000 or something insane. Which, hey, if you have the money, cool, no judgment. But I unfortunately do not have 10,000 to drop, especially 10,000 American.
Yeah, like I don't know if I'd be wanting to drop that.
Right, me either. Yeah. That's a lot of, a lot of money on one animal, and shit happens sometimes. And
yeah, unfortunately it does. And I've seen some pretty cool morphs of Westerns. Like I've seen those red anacondas. Those look super cool.
Yeah.
And the supers look cool because they have like no pattern besides the head.
Absolutely. I haven't produced one yet, but I'm hoping to. I have a couple condos. So
morphs to me are kind of like
that's
out
fair.
The window because I have like a bunch of normal things.
Yeah, that's fair. Most of my collection are normals or just hets. It's just they vary so much. Even just like I don't know if it's the het influence, but like my het sables, they look way different than any other of my hogs. So which is pretty cool.
Yeah, sometimes those het traits they show up. Different depending on the species and stuff. Usually there's some visual traits that lead to different things. Yeah,
not like concrete. Like I wouldn't go out and buy one based on just the markers, but it's pretty neat. It's fun. There's a lot of morphs that like people are just coming out with or labeling, and so there's a lot of new stuff going on with hogs, which is always fun. A lot of worlds first. Not something I'm doing, like I'm not chasing after any any ridiculousness, but
Yeah, neither am I. But if there's something that pops up that's out of the ordinary, and when I produce some giants or whatever, that'll be kind of cool, because I do have
absolutely.
a speckled that I think might be hypo or something.
That would be
He's
super cool.
definitely different than my other male and my other female, so
That would be
he's
awesome.
different from all the other ones that I've seen and all the other people I talk to. So it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. It's neat, like, just, you never, like you said, you never know what you're gonna get. You could,
like just the wild variation
Yeah.
alone is pretty neat. So
yeah,
like, all these morphs are because of wild animals, so there's
exactly.
something there. It's just that in the wild there's really no need for
Mhm.
all these fancy morphs, because they'll get picked off by predators.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like the leucistic hognose. I think it was found in Colorado, and there was a lot of lawsuits and animals seized, and I think people got jail time. I could be wrong about that, but there was a lot of drama around that. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, it was like before I got into reptiles, like a long time ago. But yeah, like Fish and Wildlife went and seized animals because they were illegally collected, or they claimed they were illegally collected, and they ended up coming, and like animals that were produced by those animals, they seized them, and it's been a while. I could have like some of the details wrong, but it was really interesting, like reading about it, because yeah, like Colorado, you can have a hognose, but you can't sell them and you can't breed them. Like I think you can collect up to 4 wild animals per year or something, or you can have 4. I have a friend that used to live in Colorado, and so we looked pretty in depth into the laws and everything, and it was fascinating. But
yeah, the laws everywhere are definitely different, and like we can't have any native species here, but some states down south, they can collect wild ones, but they can't have exotics, and
yep.
things are interesting.
Yeah, it is really interesting. Yeah.
But we have very limited species here, so I can see
Yeah.
why they want us to leave them alone as much as possible.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have garter snakes, rough green, we have red bellies, and ringnecks. Those are our 4.
Yeah, I think we have possibly 7 species, because one's up in the air.
Nice. Yeah.
We're still making sure that there are dens here or not, and if the population's dwindling or doing well, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I've seen 2 of our 4 species. I've never seen I think it was the ringnecks and the rough greens. I've never seen them, but
I see lots of plains garter snakes when I go take my dogs to the river. So
yeah, we have, I guess, probably eastern garter snakes out here, but yeah, see those quite often. They're super variable, which is really neat to see.
Yeah, it's very interesting, the wild variation in all species of animals.
Absolutely, yeah. Like I've caught really green ones, and I've caught really red ones, and I've seen melanistic ones too. Like I remember seeing a really big melanistic one when I was a kid, which was really cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
I wonder how long it survived. Well, with it being darker, it would probably be able to camouflage a little bit easy. I wouldn't say easier, but it would still have a good chance.
Yeah, better than say like a leucistic or an albino.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean I was a kid, so I could be remembering it wrong, but I remember it being like the size of like a bike tire, like in thickness across the trail. And like I went to go step over it and it moved, and it startled me. I was not quite as enthusiastic, I guess, about snakes then, or scared of being bit. So, but
yeah.
Now I wish I could see it again. I still I live really close to where I saw it, and every time I'm out in the woods there, I keep an eye out, but haven't found any more. So
yeah, sometimes you spot the same animal a couple of times, and sometimes you see it once, and that's it.
Yep, absolutely.
And then you kind of wonder what happened to it.
Yeah, hopefully it's out there having babies.
Hopefully. So, have you produced anything this year yet?
Yeah, I had some hognose start to pip a couple days ago. Most of them are enter their eggs now. So, and then I have 2 clutches of ball pythons incubating, and that's
exciting.
it. Yeah, it's a pretty slow year. Last year I had a couple ball python clutches and no hognose. So I'm stoked that I have at least 1 hognose clutch this year. So
That's good. I have nothing as of yet.
Nothing. Yeah. Still plenty of
But
time, but
usually I don't get anything till like summertime, which is
yeah.
I don't know why.
It's weird,
Like
yeah.
some people get giant clutches early in the fall or late in the fall, early in spring, and then I get them like in the middle of summer.
That's weird. I wonder if it's just like has to do with your location or something, maybe like the
I don't know. Like
altitude.
there's a couple people out in Medicine Hat, which is like 3 hours
Oh, okay, so it's pretty
east, so
Mhm.
it's not too far away,
Yeah.
but it's definitely in a different elevation.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
and different climate, so
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
could play a big factor because
Yeah.
it's hotter there in the summertime, and the winters are a little harsher too. So
Cool. Yeah. It's
'cause-
neat how like, the outside still affects them. Like it's
yeah,
fascinating to me anyways.
so
Yeah.
maybe I could try pairing in fall, see what happens. But so far, pairing when I do seems to work for me. So
Yeah.
what
Hey.
I do.
Yeah, absolutely. No point changing it if it works. So
Well, I get
Yeah.
eggs anyway, but not all of them survive. So some of them do well. I get some pretty good hatch rates, but then some of them nosedive. Like I don't know if it's me not offering the right foods,
Mhm.
or if something went off in the incubation, or if it's genetic.
Yeah,
So,
it's hard to tell, especially because like there could be things wrong internally. Like you can't
yeah,
really
like
bring them to the vet for a regular checkup, like a puppy or something. But
yeah, and I notice like all the ones that do end up passing away, they kind of get this black spot internally and
Mhm.
around the same area on each one. So I'm
Interesting.
thinking something didn't form internally correctly.
Yeah, absolutely could be. I remember I had purchased a pair of albino hognose from someone, and one of them had I could see like this little like pink lump, like a little teeny lump inside them, and it was like it looked almost like a little like hardened lump of yolk or something. I'm not sure what it was. The snake ended up passing. It had the same like it got the dark spot on its belly, like where it was just like even before it passed, like it looked like it was going necrotic internally. And I just opened them up just to take a look around, and yeah, it was really weird. I don't know what it was. It was just this little teeny lump that was just in its digestive tract. So I don't know. Yeah.
Could have been like a tumor or just a fatty lump or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever it was it was unfortunate. Little guy didn't make it, but the one I got with it didn't make it either. I had kept it for a while and it seemed to be doing good, and I sold it as a pet to a friend, and it was fine for a while and just up and died. So, but I'm not sure. Could have been just the person it came from. They might not have been well established. I'm not really sure.
Well established. It could have been a genetic issue.
Yeah.
Could be a lot of things that are out of our control.
Exactly. Absolutely. Sucks when it happens, but
Yeah.
I always like to try to look at it to make sure that it wasn't something, that I could have done differently. And I always talk to people when things pass and troubleshoot with them. But
yeah, that's kind of what I do too sometimes. Even if they don't keep the same species I do, sometimes they have good insight that might apply to what I'm doing later.
Exactly. Just different perspectives are really nice to have. So
yeah, everybody's got different experiences because we all take this same path, but there's different routes to get to where we're going.
Absolutely.
And everybody has different experiences because they meet different people and they keep different things and live in different areas and keep differently.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, so it's good. Always stuff to learn, things to change and improve on. So
yeah, always something new to learn and improve. And if you're not really learning and improving on your keeping, is there any real point in?
Right, absolutely. It's always nice to make a small change and see a big improvement or something. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, there's lots to learn. Except when there's no information out there for me. Which
that does suck. It's
I periodically look for new papers, and it's like, oh, found the same ones from before.
Yep. Yeah, I like to try to go through really old forums too. Sometimes there's some little nuggets of information in some old posts, but
yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it's a lot of outdated stuff too, which is fun to laugh about.
But there's good information with outdated stuff. Just because it's outdated doesn't mean it has valuable information. Just because we have new methods of doing things doesn't mean that some of the older ways don't have any value. Just like the
Absolutely.
books and stuff. They have good information, but yeah, like we don't use red lights anymore, and they're moving towards like halogen bulbs because there's new science stating that halogen bulbs are better because of the infrared A and B that they put off, and
Yeah.
UV lighting's better. Back then, nobody thought UV lighting had any value to it.
Yep.
And people kept with incandescent bulbs. That works for some species, but it doesn't work for all species.
Absolutely.
The more that we do it, the more that we keep learning.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of trial and error to, figure out what works, what doesn't.
Yeah, and sometimes there's, unfortunately, can be a lot of error.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just kind of got to learn from what other people did wrong and try to do better.
Yeah, absolutely. You can only do the best you can with the information you have at the time. So
yeah, and we don't learn from not trying something and having it not work, but we just want the least amount of error so like it doesn't negatively affect our animals.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Like you mentioned UVB, those Candoya, the tree boas I have, like right away I put them with UVB just to make sure that they had a good start. And, I don't have a control group, obviously, without UVB, but seems to be doing well for them. So,
kind of UV do you have on them?
I forget. It was an Arcadia bulb. I forget which one. It was one that I had purchased for a different animal that I had just switched over. But no, I don't unfortunately remember which one it was. But
probably 6% or something, or
probably. Yeah, I don't know. It's in the other room, but. Yeah, nothing too strong. It was more for like a tropical than say a desert species.
Yeah, Arcadia's got a really good guide on.
Yeah, I love it. It's so good.
Except for a lot of stuff that I want to keep, it's not on there, so I gotta like email them. I'm like, hey, do you have an idea of what I need for this?
Yeah.
These are the conditions that they live in, so on and so forth. Give them a bunch of information about the animal.
Yeah.
And then they get back to me with information. So
that's fantastic. Yeah, I love their site. I have an Abronia gramina who's out on a breeding loan right now. But like I, went to them and made sure that I was doing everything properly to get it all set up. Give it. But yeah.
For your UV lighting, do you keep it on for the 12 hours a day, or do you cycle?
I usually keep it on 12 hours. I have timers that I just set up and let it go. But I only had the Abronia for about a year and a half before I sent her out to a friend. She's out in BC now, but she'll come back eventually when she has babies.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I know with some new studies coming out with UV lighting, some people cycle their UV for like 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, and 2 hours before the lights go out. Saves you on your bulb because they're only getting as much UV as they are when they're basking.
Absolutely.
So that's when they're going to get the most amount of it. So that makes sense to me. It saves you on bulbs because then you get like double your lifespan.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'll have to look into that and see, optimal.
Well, in theory, you would double your lifespan of the bulb, but it turning on and off might also make it wear out. I'm not sure if there's any studies on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Interesting, though.
There's some research. I think Liam from Reptiles and Research has some stuff on that, but I'd have to double check because I know there's more information coming about that I have learned recently. So
cool. Yeah, it changes all the time. It's hard to keep on top of it.
When I put UV on all my animals, that's probably what I'll do is have it in bursts. So in the morning, the animal's that's probably the longest period that they're gonna bask for. And then they're gonna get the maximum amount of UV during basking during that, and then they're gonna come warm up for 5-10 minutes later on during the day just to get their body temperature back up, and then soak in that last bit of heat before it goes dark again. So
yeah, no, that makes sense. Hope it works well. The timers I have are really customizable, so I could probably do the same without much effort. So good to know.
The timers are great that way.
Yeah, I love them because my schedule tends to be all over the place, and I won't turning things on manually. It's just a lot. So
I did that at first, and then I kept forgetting.
Yep, same. Like I didn't turn it on,
or then I just leave it on before I go to bed because I forgot to turn it off.
Yep, exactly. So yeah. Timers are great.
Invest in timers and thermostats, people.
Yes, thermostats. Absolutely.
Thermostats are really important.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've seen a few burned animals, and it's not pleasant. So,
No.
but yeah, no.
People don't
Thermostats.
realize how unregulated a heat tape can be.
Yeah,
When it's
no.
just running full blast. So
Yeah, I had an incident where it must have been like my cat or something knocked something, and the heat tape was just running. Like the probe wasn't on it. Thankfully, all the animals were fine. But the heat tape itself warped. It had gotten to the point that it was melting itself. So it went in the garbage, obviously. But
yeah, myself, I'm trying to get away from heat tape. So like all these enclosures, I'm going to go to halogen bulbs.
Nice.
Just because of the past incidents with heat tape and
Absolutely.
it being tucked away underneath all your enclosures, you kind of don't want to take a look at it because you have to move everything, especially if you're doing planted or heavy enclosures with substrate and stuff like that. And then it just becomes real cumbersome and such a task to look at it.
Yeah.
So like I got a stack of 4 enclosures. It's quite the task to take them all off and then inspect all the heat tape and stuff like that. So I think visually it'd be easier to inspect halogen bulbs. Bulbs burnt out. You can take the fixture apart, check all the wires, see if there's corrosion and stuff like that. And overall, it's a little more expensive up front than heat tape, but I think in the long run, I think it'll be better for my needs.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure. Yeah,
because I think I'll probably do like a cluster of 3 or 4 par 16s, so they're not as big of a spotlight as what's recommended. So most people try to use par 38s, but when you're using the smaller bulbs, you don't get that luxury.
Yeah, that's fair.
Creating a bigger area for the animal to bask in, so it covers the whole animal when they're basking, is what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to prototype that for myself first and see how well it works. And if it works as I anticipate, then I will be installing a bunch of those into my enclosures.
Nice. Yeah, that'll be perfect. It's always nice to get everything all clean and organized and
That's
new
just
stuff.
Whatever is easiest for the keeper. Like if you're using racks, heat tape obviously is going to be your better option.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're using Vivs and stuff like that, if you're using lots of substrate, sometimes heat tape doesn't penetrate because you got all that substrate on top. So then you might go to back heat, and then you're only heating whatever the animal touches on the backside. So that's not very functional. And then you could do ceramic bulbs, but they kind of just do more of an ambient temperature than anything now, as we found out. So just finding out what works for you and your application.
Yeah, I had a radiant heat panel. I'd never actually set it up. I ended up trading it for a milk snake, actually, with a local friend. He wanted one, and I had what size he wanted, and he had a hypo Honduran milk snake, and so we traded. But I've heard good things about them. I haven't looked into them recently, but I bought it ages ago.
Yeah, I hear good things about them too, but for my applications, I don't think it's what I want to use. So but that's why there's like 15 different types of heat sources now.
Yeah, exactly. So you can get something that works best for you and your animals.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's whatever's kind of convenient for you and what suits best for your collection.
Absolutely. Yeah, I have a variety. Like, some things I have lamps, some things I have heat tape, belly tape, back tape, all kinds of different options.
How did that get in my snake room?
What is in your snake room?
I think it's a wasp.
Oh no.
Got a wasp in here. This is not a fun time.
Cool. Good luck.
Jesus, get out of here.
Oh, that's funny.
Big bastard.
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh. He went behind my snake rack.
There's a big hole in the skin, that's why.
I gotta tape that.
Do you have your wallet on you?
Yeah, so Kana must have been having some technical difficulties because she
she says we sound like shit.
Sounded like robots. I think it was her phone.
I think so. Hopefully we don't.
With her phone. So yeah. So is there any big plans for your collection in the near future, or are you just going to be working with what you have? And
pretty much got what I want right now for a nice foundation of a variety of morphs, for my Hognose at least, and the balls. I'm pretty good on balls. I've
how many ball pythons do you have?
I think I actually have more of them than hogs. I think I have about like 40 of them right now. And then hogs, I've got, I think it's like 20. Although with the new babies, it's probably closer to 30.
That's a few.
Yeah, just a few.
I
But
think I have like 20 snakes in total.
yeah, I think I'm close to 70 reptiles right now. So I work from home, so I'm able to just kind of tinker around and keep an eye on everything, which is nice. But I'm definitely at my max. I have a couple more coming, but I have a few more leaving as well. And then I'm going to hopefully sell some of the ball pythons off because I have too many of those right now. Get back to a more manageable. And then I want to upgrade enclosures, get a new hatchling rack. Because baby Western hognose especially are like little tiny liquid beings that escape from everything, which is frustrating.
Miko Reptiles makes a 0 clearance.
So good. I'm gonna have to like reach out to them absolutely because that's what I need. Because I have like these little plastic window shims right now that I use that are like just literally for windows, and they work as nice little wedges that keep things in. But
I find that kind of a nuisance if you have
it's
to
such a
wedge up your
nuisance.
tubs and stuff.
So annoying. And if you bump them and they, you don't wedge
And-
them perfectly, they get out anyways.
And you don't, if you don't notice, and
Yeah.
and then it's like just a big enough gap that lids don't fit.
Exactly.
That kind of defeats the purpose of the rack.
Exactly.
You have to pull out the whole tub, take the lid off, and
Yep. So it's been a struggle.
Yeah.
I've had many little teeny hognose get out and get back. Like, I guess not many. I've had like 3 or 4 of them escape. And I always find them. I'm always lucky to find them, but they're like 6-gram snakes. And right now, most of my reptiles are in the basement. So at least I know they're not going to climb the stairs. So the babies, anyways. Is your wasp friend still around?
yeah, I hear him buzzing behind my snake rack. Like I smacked him, but
Yeah.
I didn't squish him. So
You made him mad, so he'll come back for you.
well, he's not coming back for me yet, but I'm definitely not looking forward if he does.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now I gotta fix that hole in my screen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, my screens are terrible for that too. Like, just bugs come in. Or my cats get out. I had my cat, we had him in the bedroom because a snake was missing, a little teeny hognose. So I was looking for the hognose. And then I found the hognose, and I asked my boyfriend to let the cat out. And he's just like, the cat's not here. So the cat had jumped out a 2nd-story window and was loose in the neighborhood. And thankfully, he knows his name. So I was able to go out, and I'm sure my neighbors thought I was crazy because I was, 10 o'clock at night wandering around screaming for my cat named Philip. And yeah.
Pets with regular human names are great.
Philip, yeah, he's pretty great. He's a Bengal, so I was especially worried because I posted him on the lost and found pet thing for local, and people were like, "Oh, if I saw that, I would keep it. If I caught that cat, I wouldn't give it back." Just like, please don't steal my cat. He was intact at the time too, so that would have been even worse, some random person. But he came back.
That's good.
So, yep, he was under my deck and very terrified, and we made sure not to lock him in the room with the window open. I mean, he went through the screen, like the window was open with a screen, but he just went right through it.
Just plowed right through it.
Yep.
There's no screen here.
He was determined that he was not going to be locked in the bedroom alone. So it was a dramatic night.
So, since you're so far east, I assume the reptile scene is quite a bit different than it is in Ontario and Western Canada.
Yeah, it's pretty much ball pythons for the most part. There's a couple corn snake breeders, and then bearded dragons, and then we have the Halifax Expo, which is fantastic. It's really small because we're really small, but it's great. They I try to make it out. I never vend because I can't vend my hognose, and I don't normally have enough ball pythons to make it worth it. Excuse me. And I like to go and spend my money instead. But and then there's the Pei Expo, which I was able to attend once. The first one, which was pretty good. It was really small again, and I had a hognose there to mostly just show off to people. It's fun. But yeah, there's not a lot of breeders, or there seems to be more people getting interested Like I have a lot more people that are local that are interested in snakes, which is nice. But yeah, definitely not like Ontario. Like it's not unusual for me to spend almost the same amount to ship an animal to me. Like I purchase an animal for like 120 and spend 120 to ship it to me too. So
Yeah.
but yeah, it just there's not much locally, so I pretty much have to. So
Yeah, they kind of can make it difficult. So is there a lot of reptile keepers out that way, or?
there's a few. Like I know a lot of the local people. We generally all chat and stuff, but definitely nothing like Ontario. I'm trying to think offhand. There's probably like a dozen or so breeders that I can think of in like New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and PEI, all three provinces. And then like there's quite a few people that just keep one or two animals as pets and stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot more people that keep a couple reptiles here and there than there is the people that are like us who keep a lot of animals.
Yes, exactly. So that's nice. And I've got a lot of interest for the hognose and stuff, especially because they tend to be pretty unusual, and even people that don't like snakes tend to like them, I find, because they have like their cute little faces and
Yeah, they got that cute derpy look with the upturned snout.
exactly. So but yeah, no, it's pretty neat. And then I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, there's a few like maritime geckos, I guess, is probably one of the bigger ones.
Yeah.
And he's in PI. And then there's Greg Heckbert, who's also in PI.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Greg's fantastic. I love Greg. Boas and ball pythons mostly, I think. Mostly boas. Really nice boas. Those are two of the bigger ones. And then we have a few ball python breeders, like Balls to the Walls. He's been breeding a few years now. And then in Nova Scotia, we have Dynamite Pythons, and she's got quite a nice collection. And I got a really cool piebald male from her, and it's pretty neat. But for the most part, it's pretty, tight-knit community, I find. Most people know each other. So it's pretty cool. Have nice little chats and stuff.
That's good.
Yeah, I like it.
Nice to have a tight-knit community that supports each other.
Yeah. I'm more of I'd rather have snake breeder friends than try to see anyone as competition. Like, it's a hobby for me. So
yeah, there's room for everybody because everybody does projects differently and they have different views. So even if you are producing ball pythons, you might not be after the same morph line as somebody else, and they're going to mix other genetics in there that you might not have because that's not what you were after. So
yeah, exactly. So I have a friend who's in the province, and he reached out and he was just like, I was thinking about getting hognose, and I wanted to talk to you about it first to see if you had any available. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's great. Definitely get hognose, more hognose. And so I didn't have anything, and he ended up importing some. So it's pretty great. I'm hoping he continues to expand and can trade babies. He can work on things. I can work on things. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's not many people working with Madagascar hognoses across Canada. So
yeah, I mean, across the world from what I've seen.
like there's a handful in the States, and I still get people from the States asking me if I have any available because they're just so popular now.
Yeah,
there's
it's fantastic.
Not very many. There's I've seen like 2 or 3 people in the States that breed them consecutively the last couple of years. Some people have better success than others. So
yeah, it's pretty cool. Nice watching it evolve.
Pardon?
I like, it's neat watching like the different species, like people start working with them because
it's nice to have variety instead of ball python alley.
Yep, absolutely. And that's I like to have a variety of stuff because the ball pythons are fun, but they're pretty boring as far as behavioral. Like the hognose are fun to watch, or they're just ridiculous, or the arboreals are fun to feed and watch.
Yeah, it's just nice to see other species out there because it opens up that world to other people where it's not just like, hey, there's more to it than just ball pythons and boas. Like there's a lot more to it.
Absolutely.
Like, there's a lot of other python species out there that are really cool that not a lot of people keep. There's a lot of different other boa species like you have that not a lot of people keep, not just BCIs and stuff that is a lot larger and harder for most people to care for.
Absolutely.
But some of these species are also harder to care for because of certain care requirements and stuff. So they're not for everybody. So it makes it harder to cater to everybody's needs because not all species are beginner species.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I've wanted a green tree python for, forever basically. But I recognize that, they tend to be delicate. So I waited and waited and ended up getting a neonate this year. So, but it's been good so far. Neat little
That's
creatures.
exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. So
There's a couple people I know that got green trees this year.
yeah, I was stoked. It's a local breeder produced them, Dave Grandy. He's a friend. We've been chatting for a while and stuff, and he's great. He was involved in reptiles well before me, and recently got back into it. So it's pretty cool. He has a lot of
That is
knowledge. Yeah. So I was
Alright,
fortunate.
He can finish.
Yeah, sorry. I was fortunate to have a good friend that produced some really awesome green tree pythons and be able to get one from him.
Yeah, if I were to get a green snake on a stick, I think I might have to get emeralds.
Yeah, I was torn between the two, but they both have their perks.
Oh, Jesus, he's back.
Oh no!
Or it's a new one. I'm not sure because I haven't fixed that hole yet.
Oh yeah, you could have two now.
Stay over there. Trying to do an interview and I'm getting attacked.
Never a dull moment, that's for sure.
Yeah, I've always wanted an emerald since the complete boa book came out when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what made me get a sunglow boa.
Nice.
It's gorgeous. I have to get one.
Mhm.
And I hit him so hard he split in half.
Oh, excellent. So that one won't come back for you. Hopefully
No.
that was the same one, not a new one.
And he's definitely gone now.
Excellent. Success.
What an adventure.
Yes, absolutely.
Wasps are not fun.
No, they're not. Not at all. I've never been stung by like a bee or a wasp or a hornet or anything, knock on wood, but
I have, and it's not a good time. I'm
Yeah.
luckily not allergic, so that's good.
that's good. Yeah. I wouldn't know if I'm allergic or not, I guess.
Or
Hopefully
kind of
not.
find out and
Yeah.
kind of type deal.
Yes. Well, I'll figure it out someday, maybe.
I know my dad's allergic, so like when we were outside and he's like by bees and wasps and stuff, so he's like, "We gotta go."
Yeah, I'm pretty
He's
sure
like,
my
"I
mom
wanna
is
go to the
too.
hospital."
Absolutely.
Well, it's
Not
also
a-
like 8 years old, so there's no way I was driving him to the
Yeah.
hospital, and like, there was really no cell phones at the time, so it's just like, we're stuck in the trees here.
Yeah.
This is
Gotta
not gonna
hope
be
for
a
the
good time.
best. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we appreciate you coming on. Where can people find you?
Facebook is probably best. I have Havoc Exotics Facebook page. I have an Instagram that I neglect most times, or my personal profile, which is Jordan Allain, just Jordan Allain on Facebook. Pretty much it. So
Yeah, I have an Instagram for my reptile page too that I absolutely have not posted to in probably like 6 months.
yeah, same. I'll be really good. I'll take a bunch of pictures and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna upload all the time, and I'll do like 2 days in a row and then forget about it for like 3 months, and then it's like, oh right, Instagram.
I've been doing a lot more woodworking, so that's kind of
Nice.
what I've been posting to is my woodworking page on Instagram.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's awesome.
I can actually make a little bit more money on that.
Absolutely. Yeah, fair. Yeah, I've been busy with the dogs. They've the warm weather. They're being mouthy, but trying to multitask between the reptiles and the dogs, keeping everyone happy. But
Yeah, I'm multitasking between doing the podcast and then my reptiles and working a full-time job that requires me to go out of town, and then my woodworking on the side at home, and then my little guy.
yeah,
And I've been attending herp meetings too. So
nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I've got the full-time job. No little ones. I guess my partner has an 8-year-old, but we only have them on weekends, so gives us more time. But my work from home office is in the reptile room, so it's pretty cool. I get to hang out with my reptiles and work. So
that's awesome.
yeah,
It can be a juggling act sometimes.
Yep.
It can burn people out really fast.
absolutely. I try to warn anyone who's getting into reptiles not to go too hard too quickly, because it's easy to do.
Yeah, that's why I'm not too keen on like producing a lot of animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super fun. It's super awesome to produce animals, and like it's a great feeling when you produce some eggs and then they hatch out and you're like, oh, I created this life. It's super exciting, but
Yeah.
that's not the only thing that there is to do in the hobby.
Exactly. Absolutely. So, it's just as fun getting a really nice enclosure put together for me. Like, nice background and plants and stuff. I really like that.
And that's something that you can change all the time instead of just getting that new animal and feeling that high.
Exactly.
Setting up a really nice enclosure and then seeing all those new behaviors is also the same feeling. And I think that's a little more rewarding in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been getting little like webcams that I can put on different enclosures so I can just monitor and watch them without disturbing them. And it's neat to watch them just doing their thing.
Yeah, I got a webcam for my Madagascar giant hognose when I paired them up. So I got to see mating behavior. I got to see what times of day that they were the most active. So that was really cool because when you're in here, they kind of don't really want to be bothered, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
I'm not going to see a lot of that behavior unless I come in and all of a sudden they're out and they're like, uh-oh.
Yeah, retreat.
Yeah. And then they go back to hiding because I disturbed them. So it's a good way to see your animal's behavior, check on your reptile room and so on and so forth.
Absolutely. It's really neat. I've got with the recent clutch that was pipping, instead of going down to the incubator and looking, because I really like to do that, I stuck my webcam in there and I've been keeping an eye on them through that. It notifies me when anything moves and it's great. Less stressful for them too.
Everything start pipping right away.
Yeah, exactly.
Being there in the moment.
Yeah, so it was cool. I saw like a couple of the eggs. You could see the babies, trying to pip, like just running their nose around and stuff. It's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I'd never seen that before. Like the egg was moving a ton, and it's pretty cool. So,
and everybody knows where to find us. They can Google search us, CHP Podcast. Don't forget to check out Miko Reptiles and Enclosures. And check out My Pet Paradise for all your reptile needs, dog needs, cat needs, fish needs, pretty much whatever there's a pet. They have supplies for you. So you can check them out. And don't forget to grab life by the Hemipenes.
Yes, absolutely.